Chapter 1. The Jester's Shadow. The wind carried the scent of burning herbs, and something far worse, something that clung to the back of the throat like ash and rot. It was 1347, and the villages of Europe were already whispering of the plague, though none dared speak its name aloud. The people of Blackthorn Hollow had barricaded their doors, their windows shuttered against the unseen terror that slithered through the night. But terror, as they would soon learn, did not always come unseen. It began with laughter, a sound that should have been joyous, but twisted too shrill, too long, like a blade scraping bone. The villagers first heard it at dusk, drifting over the thatched roofs, a mocking giggle that curled around their ears and refused to let go. Some said it was the wind, others the devil himself. But when the laughter stopped, something else took its place, the slow, deliberate clatter of wooden shoes against cobblestone. The Jester's shoes. No one had seen him arrive. No one had invited him, but there he stood at the edge of the village square, his face hidden behind a painted grin, his tattered motley coat flapping like the wings of a dying bird. His hands were gloved in white, but the fingers twitched as if they longed to be free, and in his grasp he held a sack that jingled with something small and dry, something that made the children cover their ears and the adults clutch their rosaries. A tale for you, the Jester crooned, his voice a honeyed whisper that slithered into their minds. A riddle, if you please. The villagers exchanged glances. No one moved. The Jester tilted his head, the grin on his mask never wavering. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 in the evening? A child, no older than 7, piped up. A man. It's a man. The Jester's laughter rang out again, sharp as a knife. Clever little thing, he murmured, but the answer is wrong. The child's mother yanked him back, her face pale. The Jester's grin widened. You see, he said, the answer is the plague. It crawls on 4 legs when it first arrives as rats, you understand. Then it walks on 2 when it takes your breath. And, by the end, it leaves you with a 3rd leg, a crutch, or a grave. The air grew thick with the stench of fear. The Jester's sack jingled again. Would you like to see what's inside? He asked, his voice suddenly soft, almost kind. No one answered. The Jester sighed. Very well. With a flick of his wrist, he opened the sack. A rain of blackened figs spilled onto the cobblestones. Each one split open to reveal a writhing mass of maggots. The villagers recoiled, but the Jester only smiled. A gift, he said, for your troubles. Then he was gone. The laughter followed him, fading into the night like a bad dream. But the figs remained, and by morning the first coughs began. The plague had come to Blackthorn Hollow, and the Jester's shadow lingered in every corner, in every whisper, in every gasp for breath that never came. The villagers burned the figs. They locked their doors. They prayed, but the laughter returned, night after night, growing louder, closer, and with it the Jester's riddles, each one a curse, each one a promise of what was to come. What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? He asked one evening, his voice drifting through the cracks in the wood. A woman, her face gone with hunger, whispered the answer. Silence. The Jester's laughter was her last sound. By the time the first carts rolled through the village, carrying the dead to the mass graves, the Jester was already gone. But his shadow remained a stain on the walls, a whisper in the dark, and somewhere, in the hollows of the forest, the laughter still echoed, waiting for the next village, for the next fool who dared to answer his riddles, for the last laugh of the Black Plague.